You know that.
Okay. Hello, Deirdre Maguire. My goodness, I am absolutely delighted. I'm so excited. I've been buzzing for this since we planned the date. Like, thank you so much for giving up your time to talk to me.
Not at all, my love. My pleasure, my privilege, my honor. It's lovely for me to get to talk to you here at my kitchen table.
Yeah, I just feel like, and well, here I'm in my little cozy living room as well, and I've got all my cozies around me and stuff, my cushions and everything. But I just, whenever I heard your story on a podcast, it was a couple of years ago now, I just couldn't even believe it. It was as if it had happened in divine time, because a few of the things that you've went through in your life has happened to me in my life, and I really have resonated with everything. I listen to you on the radio now, and I'm always like, yes, and listen to you. I love seeing your posts on Instagram and everything. So I suppose, Deirdre, for my listeners, do you want to just introduce yourself and tell us a bit about yourself and your background? But I'm sure they probably know you already.
Well, you know the way when you're doing any of these marketing courses or anything like that, they'll tell you to figure out your elevator speech. You know, if I met you in the lift and, you know, had 2 floors and 20 seconds to introduce ourselves, what would we say? And I would say, my name is Deirdre Maguire. I am a mind wellness specialist. I help people get happier. I show them how to see, then change the patterns of thinking that are blocking their emotional intelligence and blinding them from who they really are. And I'll always qualify it by saying, I am the proof. I have the proof because I am the proof. And that's really what my whole life is about currently. It's 2 parts. One is to help people the best way I can. And the best way I can do that is to live in personal self-alignment with my values. In other words, what I believe to be important is how I want to live my life. And, you know, there are a lot of people out there at the minute, and they're all doing the best they can with what they have. But I think there are a lot of kind of misinformed people, or, you know, people who are doing this work and they don't yet have the depth of experience that somebody like you or myself has had, because of you know, the traumas that we've been through. So that's the short version. I help people get happier. Today, I'll say that I've never been older. I'm 66. I've never been older. I've never been fitter, and I've never been happier. And I actually said that on the radio this morning.
Yeah, I heard.
Okay, because I know that happiness, and this is what I love, happiness is a skill. You know, I used to think, first of all, I thought I could never be happy. And secondly, I thought the level of happiness that I had was where I had to stay. That's as good as it gets, Deirdre. And I definitely know that's not true today. And I think it's very exciting times we're living in. And I hunger for more and more knowledge. You know, nothing I love more than a podcast. That's why I love doing podcasts, because we're sharing from the heart. We're sharing our own personal experience, and you really can't hide who you are when you go on a podcast.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that is what people actually need. And like you say, for me, I am the same. It's really exciting times. I am like, this is amazing to start to even want to understand this. But do you still get, because this is my problem, like my own boyfriend, some of my family members, my friends, then they just think I'm cuckoo. They think, yeah, right, like life's hard, like you're like BS kind of thing. But I'm like, no, I promise you, you can, and you will if you just do little steps every day. If you want to, if you really want to, you can. What do you say to people, you know, the critics or because even on the radio this morning, you know, that's actually what he said then when you had talked about the 3 steps, and then he's like, what, but you know, how does everybody get there, kind of thing. What do you say to that?
Well, one of the things that I say is it's not very crowded on the extra mile. It's not very crowded. When you go the extra mile, it's not so crowded there. It's not for everybody. Not everybody goes that extra mile. And that's okay. And as one who back in the day, my mission in life was to fix everybody. And I wanted to fix you, and they need fixed, and they need fixed. And that's really quite toxic. It's very toxic to live in that way. And when you get sick and tired of that, when you get slapped about the face enough, when people, you know, you walk into a room and people walk out of it, what that means is you're actually in the wrong room.
Okay.
You're in the wrong room.
Yeah.
So honor people and allow people to have their journey. So you don't need to, it's not your job to fix anybody. You're, as I said this morning on the radio, and I say this often, be the lighthouse. The lighthouse doesn't run up and down the coast trying to fix people. The lighthouse just stays in one spot and gives out its light. The lighthouse is very true to itself, you know. And
I love that.
That's what I want. That's what I aspire to do. And that's what I want for others. Because I've been a slave to helping others, and I witness people doing the same thing, you know, even in my own family and, you know, my extended family. I witness people almost sacrificing their own life to the service of others. And what I would always ask them is, what's the payoff? Why are you doing this? There is a payoff in it. And they say, well, I don't want to do it, but I have to take care of other people. And I would challenge them on that and say, no, there's a payoff in it. There's always a payoff in whatever we're doing. What is the secondary gain? Okay, I'll tell you this. This is a really good story, Tara. Way back in the day when I first started doing this work, and I share this story often because it was so powerful to me at the time. I had just started doing this work. I was in 12-step recovery. I was in Al-Anon, which is 12-step movement, and I had finally started to hear words that I needed to hear. So I'd made this new friend, and there was a whole group of us. And anyway, this friend phoned me up one day, and I have to set the context for it as well. In 12-step recovery, I don't know if you're familiar with it or not, but in 12-step recovery, the key is that we are anonymous. So we don't know each other's surnames. We don't even know what we work at. We don't know anything. So all I knew was his first name. And like, he was Peter and I was Deirdre, and we had each other's phone numbers, and there was a whole group of us. Anyway, he phoned me up and we always supported each other. So he randomly phoned me one Saturday morning, and that stage I was living in Belfast. And he said, well, what are you at today, Deirdre? And I said, well, I have to go to the shop, and I have to get a card. It's my mother's birthday, and I have to get her a present, and then I have to do the shopping, and then I have to come back here, and I have to tidy out. I've changed the bed sheets, and then I have to go down to Newcastle and deliver the present. And he let me go on and on.
And yeah.
And then he said, okay, Deirdre, I want you to say that to me again. And I want you to say, I choose. And I went, no, you don't get it. I don't choose. I have to get the birthday card. I have to get the present. I have to go to Newcastle. I have to. And that represented how I led my life at that stage, how I lived my life. You know, I used to say, it would say on my headstone, you can't not. You can't not go to the family do. You can't not do this. You can't not, because that's how I live my life. And it's not how I live my life today, because today I really do know that we all have choices. We don't, some of us don't know that we have choices. But when you do know you have choices, some of it's not comfortable, because that means actually when you take on the belief and admit that you have choices, what comes with that is responsibility. So you are actually responsible for your own life.
Yeah, and nobody else is. And you take that power and you say, well, I'm sorry if that offends you or you're not happy with my choice, but I'm looking after me. That's been my biggest learning over the last couple of years since I got sick. I was, like you say, I was like, oh no, I have to, it's their 30th birthday. Like, it's a big deal. Like, I have to be there. And like, I don't even know how or who exactly it was. I do know Stephen, my partner, like, he was very much like, you don't have to do anything. And I was like, but they've been so good to me, and they just sent me this. Like, I have to at least go and show. No, see, now I am getting there. I'm still getting there, but
yes,
I understand it's okay to have boundaries. It's okay to feel how you feel and go inside and go, can I actually do that today? Could I actually have the energy to do that? Or do I even really want to? And say no. Like, so I love that.
Yeah. And so my question to you would be, what has been the gift? Now, I heard you saying there, I got sick. So is it true that you got sick?
Okay, so what you were saying there about, because that's why I was like, oh, and then and that day goes on and on and on, and that was me. That was my life. Do you know what? I actually could have put in, I think about a month ago, I could have put in to apply for my driving license again. I still haven't, because I'm enjoying the fact that I can say, no, sorry, I can't get there, you know. But so similar to you, and whenever this is what I wept tears when I first heard your voice. I don't even remember whose podcast it was on, honestly. I can't remember. It was a couple of years ago. And so you had been through a loss, a big loss, and I had been, my first love, I lost him, and it took me a long time to get over that. And I now think in hindsight, maybe I never got over it, and I thought I did, and I was running away. I was running, doing all this travels, and oh yeah, I'm doing all this amazing stuff, I'm so excited, but I also, my mental health was not good, and I know I was actually escaping. And then at the same time, I thought I had to do this, I thought I had to be here, I thought I had to be there, and I was honestly like making myself sick by never stopping. I actually had a job that I had to drive around the whole of the north and like bordering counties, and I had to quit it because I had too much time in the car with my own thoughts. I just didn't want to, I couldn't deal with it. That's how bad it was getting. So I do know now that I did develop brain cancer as a result of my headaches and everything was screaming at me, you need to go and get an MRI, you need to go and sort out like what's going on here. But I just wasn't ready. I just didn't want to. And now I have way more peace, way more happiness, way more contentment, way more like, I actually see the world, and I know that you're the same. And that's what I want to, in this podcast, that's what I want people to, this is two of us on completely separate journeys. We're completely different ages and everything. We've seen completely different things, but yet we know what we mean when we say like, it's like an inner knowing. It's actually starting to respect yourself and your own, well, hold on a minute, what do I actually need? Let me go inside for a bit. And not just, oh, like I'll just rush and do that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like the story may be different, but the pain's the same. And the pain that was driving us to avoidance behavior and running away. And, you know, the thing is, you know, you can never get away from yourself. And the beauty of it is that when someone shows you, or when life shows you, that you don't need to get away from yourself, because you actually have all the resources within you. And that's what my work today is about, is about showing people how they have all their own resources. And I love that. I love when people get the aha moment and they go, oh my God, like I have created my own system. Now I have a system that I've created. It's called the stress solution system. And it's a consolidation of everything over the last, 25 years. I've been 25 years on my journey. And
do you want to just tell listeners, as much as you're comfortable to share or whatever, about what your traumas and the awful things that you have?
No, I'll tell you everything. I'll tell you anything or everything.
I knew that would be your answer.
I have no secrets at all, not at all. So 22 years ago, my father, my darling father, my hero, my mentor, outwardly successful and generous, very generous businessman. People still talk about him in the town, about your dad. I hear all the time, your daddy was a great man. And so on the outside, he had everything. I'm the eldest of 5 children. He had a wife who loved him. He had children who loved him. He had grandchildren who loved him. He was 72 and he couldn't be here anymore. And so he took his own life. He actually drowned himself in a river. And, I had made it, my mission at that point was to save my dad. He didn't just turn up one day and decide he would kill himself. This stuff had been festering in him. This pain had been festering in him for years. And ultimately he was left with the only option that he thought he had and took his own life. So when he died, I felt like I was a failure. And that was the lowest point in my life, that I couldn't save him. And so I started searching for answers, trying to find the answers. And always, why? I mean, why do people have to die? And I remember going everywhere. And I remember actually meeting this girl, and she had nearly died. She had tried to hang herself in a hospital, and had failed, and successfully lived. And I wanted to talk to, because I wanted to know, where were her thoughts, she said she loved her children. And I thought, well, why would you do that? Yeah. And what I've come to know subsequently, and I've done a lot of work around, I work with people who are suicidal today. One of the common thoughts at that time is people would be better off without me. And I've literally worked with, now I've worked with thousands of people, and not all of them suicidal, but I've worked with a significant number of people who are suicidal. And thankfully they get to me before they're actually dead, but they've had a few goes at it. And this is the interesting thing, that they can go from the suicidal thought, actually it'd be better if I wasn't here, to the complete opposite. Wow. Oh my God, I am so, look at this, I've got this and this and this and this. So that's what thoughts are. And the thing is, we believe our thoughts. So when I teach people how to think differently, and their perception of the world is a different. So perception drives our life. And the perception that we have about life is based on the beliefs that we have. And the beliefs we have about life are based on the memories, the experiences that we have. So those memories, those experiences feel very real, but they're not actually real now, and they do not need to define who we are. So today I carry the message for my father. I am at peace with my father's death. I love my father, and I can release the pain instead of thinking, well, why couldn't I save him? What is my belief about death? What is my belief about where my father is? What is my belief? All these things all need addressed. And when you address each one of those and make peace with it. I'm not saying I wish it hadn't happened, but it couldn't have happened any other way, because it didn't. So there's no point in, wearing black for the rest of my life and crying into, so I have figured out, but it's very understandable that people would do that. I do understand why people would do that, based on the limited knowledge that they have about how the mind and body works. So when you understand how the mind and body works, and you know you can change it, and my life's not perfect. You know, I get triggered, I get cross, I get sad. It's not about not feeling, you know, difficult feelings.
Yeah, because we're human. We're still human.
Well, that is human. That's what to be human is. It's not like the person who's happy is not a human. That's a human aspect.
Yeah, true. Yeah,
you know?
I think that's what I struggle to try and get across to people. Like, yeah, I have been through a lot, like, and you know, there's even more on top of that. Like, my mom she's got MS, and we've been told, I mean, for the last 10 years, like, oh, that, you know, she's going, like, she's really, and it's just, you have to, I think that's why I really wanted to get you on, because I'm still in the process of me trying to understand, how can I tell people how I'm able to keep going, how, like, I know that I've been through a lot. I know it's been like probably.
Well, how do you keep going, Tara? Very simply, how do you keep going?
Honestly, because I feel so blessed in this moment, like right now. That is it. Yeah, true. That's all.
That's all. That's all. You know, I remember the year after I was diagnosed with cancer. Then that's another part of my story. So my father died 22 years ago.
But were you at this point? Was this because you were still quite grieving, and you were maybe still, you know, like you were saying about running about wearing black for the rest of my life? Were you still at that phase?
No, what I realized was that if I did not stop thinking the way I was thinking, you know, as I say, stress, the posh word for fear.
Yes.
Had been driving me all my life, you know, just like my father before me. This is multi-generational. We copy them. We model what we see. Yeah. So we copy them. So change had to happen. Change had to happen, you know, and this is what I say today. I have it on my post-it notes. I say to my clients, change is just unfamiliar. Otherwise it wouldn't be change. So what I want you to do is get familiar with the unfamiliar, get comfortable with the uncomfortable, get comfortable with change. Because if you stay the same, and you know, there's a basic human need that we have is for safety. That's our first call. We need safety. So in order to feel safe, certain things need to stay the same. Okay. But then the next one after that is we need uncertainty. Because if everything was the same all the time, we'd be bored stupid. So we need uncertainty. We need things. Well, I don't know what's going to happen in this podcast, or I don't know what's going to happen. And we need that because that's variety.
And that's how we grow as well. If we're ever going to have any growth, like we have to, what's going to happen?
If you look at a plant, you look at a plant and you look at a cut flower, the cut flowers in Tesco's are all dying. Okay, they're dying. Okay, you look at a plant is growing. So we are either growing or dying. Am I growing or dying? Is this expanding my life, or is it the same old, same old? So when you get more familiar with moving out of your comfort zone, and I know you follow me, so you know that I do the ice bath. I have an ice bath.
Oh, and I'm still not brave enough. I hopefully one day. Tell us about that. Tell us about the journey.
So the reason I do, you can do it today, and it doesn't take courage. It just takes a willingness. Okay. So all you need to do is when you get into the shower that you turn the water cold and turn it hot again.
I do try. No, I do do that. I do that. But then I just can't wait for it to go back to the warm.
So when you can keep company with that feeling, I can't wait for it to go back to warm. When you're standing in the shower and it's like, oh my God, and it's freezing. The shower is hard. It's nearly harder than the ice bath because the water just comes down and it's freezing and you're like, oh my God. And when you can stay in that for 30 seconds, and the next time you do it for a wee bit longer, 35 seconds, 40 seconds, we don't need epic turnarounds. You know, epic turnarounds are for the films, the movies, Hollywood.
Yeah, true.
What we need is low set, you know, where the bar is set low, where you have just a wee, maybe I could do 2 more seconds. And if I do it well and good, and if I don't do it, that's okay too. So one of the things that has really helped me, just to clarify it, is that I have an ice bath. And when I say I have an ice bath, there's no ice in it, okay? It's a tub that I can get into. I'm lucky that I have a bedroom with a balcony on it. And I have my ice bath, which is, it's a tub that builders mix cement in. And so I fill that with water. And it's filled now, it's actually emptied at the minute because I'm cleaning it, and I clean it today and then fill it again. And then it's the same water for maybe a week. And every morning I have a routine, and every morning, but not every single morning. Now, I didn't do it this morning because the water wasn't there. So, but what I do is when I get up, I go out and get into the bath. Now, I do not spend even 10 minutes in the bath. This is how I do it, and it works for me. I go and I get into the bath quietly. I don't get in and go, oh my God, it's freezing, it's freezing, it's freezing. No, because what I'm actually doing is overriding my system. Because when we do things that we don't want to do, the stress response is activated. And when we do things that are not familiar, the stress response is activated. And what we want to do is learn how to override the system. So the stress response is an automatic response in your body. Okay. So you don't have choice over it. It just happens. And you go, oh, something stresses you. So what we want to do is take control of that more and more. Okay. You'll not always be able to control it completely, and you actually need it. It's a good thing. If you went into a bank and you're standing in the queue in the bank and robbers come in and they say, hit the deck, you need your stress response. Yeah. You need to hit the deck. Okay, so we do need our stress response, but the only thing is that we're using it too much in these days of, in modern society, where we're constantly being stimulated. Our minds is constantly being stimulated. Like sometimes we achieve in a week what other people achieved in 10 years, a long time ago. So we're overstimulated at the minute. Therefore, the stress response is activated a lot. So what we do is we want to override it. So this is how I do it. There's not very often that I want to get into the ice bath. The odd day where I think, oh, it's in the summertime, I might want to get into it. Oh, yeah, true. There's not many times that I go, I am jumping to get into that cold water. That's not my experience. I can only speak for myself. Mm-hmm. But when I see it and I go, I'm going to do that, because I know the payoff. Because when I know how to do the hard thing, to do a thing I don't want to do, I use that same experience to create my business, to expand my business, last week, Kate here with me, my able assistant, Kate and I together did our first few corporate gigs, and it was big. It was a big milestone for me, and it was hugely successful. And the reason it was able to happen like that is because I get into the ice bath every day, because I taught myself to get comfortable with that uncomfortable feeling, that feeling, oh God, I don't want to do it, so when you do that, however you do it, if you think, maybe tomorrow I will turn the water cold and I'll do it for 2 seconds and that's all. But even the very act of doing that, Tara, is changing the neurology of your brain. Okay? I am not a doctor and I am not a scientist, but I do know what I know. I know what I.
Oh, running out of time. That's saying so.
Okay, so it's.
10 minutes I've got. So just, I suppose, for people that are like, whoa, that's crazy, why would you put yourself into a stressful situation? I wonder, because you are saying you are allowing that little bit of stress to go up, but so what, for people that aren't in this space at all, why would you want to do that, and why is it a good thing to bring stress in?
It's all it is an unfamiliar situation. We call it stress. We call it fear. but it's actually a chemical response in your body. And that's all it is. So when you understand that, and you can become the watcher of your mind, when you can see the thought for what it is, see the thought for what it is. It's not who you are. Who you are is amazing. Who you are is incredible. Who you are is a diamond. This is who you are. Who you are is a beautiful, amazing, incredible diamond. That's who you are. You're perfect. You just came into an imperfect world, and all you did was cover it up. When I say an imperfect world, I mean that your primary caregivers had problems, and if they were sitting in front of me, I would say the same thing to them.
Yeah. They didn't know the tools to heal, or they didn't know they were doing anything wrong. And that's what I do talk to my own parents about. Like, you didn't know any better. You did everything you possibly could, and now I'm on my own healing journey, and they have to be on their own. It's funny you say about the diamond. So I have like my little page, and then I'm hoping so much to be like following your footsteps, and I have a little kind of plan.
Okay, I'll call you. I'm going to call you on this, Tara. I want you to take the word hoping out of it. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm hoping, I'm planning.
Yes. Okay. I'm actually going to write that down just so that I'm like, Deirdre Maguire told me that. Yeah.
I am planning. This is my plan. Okay. I'm trying. So this is what I say to clients, like I'll give them a pen and I'll say, I want you to try and lift that. So they always lift it. And I go, no. I want you to try and lift it. And they go, well, I am doing it. No, you're lifting it. Trying, the presumed truth behind the word trying and hoping, right? Your language is a message that you're sending to your brain. So when you say, I am planning to be like you, Deirdre, I am planning to be, that's a different thing. That's a plan.
Okay.
I'm hoping it's beauty.
Yeah, I know. It means I'm still in a bit of fear. I'm still holding. Yeah, I know that. I know that, and it's annoying because then I do still doubt myself. But yeah, no, thank you. That was actually so good. I've written that down. I'm planning, and you know what? I know I'm going to be so inspired coming off this chat now that I'll be going and I'll be woo with my plans. I know I will. But I see the diamond that you just mentioned as the rainbow, and that's what it's been since I was going up to chemotherapy every single day. I was seeing rainbows in the sky, and I don't know if that's normal to see them every single day, but I did, and I just would cry. Beautiful. And I was like, it's going to be okay. I'm going to get through this. And now that's my diamond. I'm going to share with the world, hopefully, how
I am planning to share with the world.
I am planning to share with the world. I already have started. That's why I did the page. And I want people to know you can feel better, even if you've been told you're terminal and you've got 14 to 16 months to live if you do this.
We're all terminal.
Exactly. That's what I try and tell people. My friends and all will be like, you need to be more careful, and oh no, you can rest, and don't worry about you coming. And I'm like, no, I want to go. Like, I will be okay. I'm probably even more able than a lot of you.
Exactly. It's been so lovely to talk to you today, and such a privilege and an honor, Tara. I know what it's like. Well, Deirdre, we both know what it's like.
Like, honestly, I would say you have really helped me and inspired me when I was, because like we said, we are only human, and I do still have.
We're only human. We're absolutely human, and that's that's the excitement of this journey, to actually to make peace with death. And I think that when you've had a cancer diagnosis, that you have had to learn how to make peace with death. But the biggest thing is make sure you're alive. Make sure that when death comes for you, it finds you alive.
Yeah, exactly. My goodness. I'm obsessed with like watching people that are they're over 100, and they literally have the fullest, most amazing life, and they are so happy, and they feel like excited still by everything. And I nearly do feel that. I'm like back to that childhood excitement at the smallest thing. Like, I can just see out the window there that my flowers out the front are growing just because of that big fall down, and I'm just like, oh, I'm so excited about that. Like, that's so small and silly, but I have that childy.
No, on the contrary, that childlike, it's not childish, it's childlike. It's a childlike enthusiasm for life. Never lose it.
No.
Embrace that, embrace that. And, you know, if we could bottle that and sell it, people would be, you know, you'd be a millionaire. So, you know, embrace that, honor that, and honor your childlike enthusiasm, because no one has lived your life. No one, only you has lived your life, Tara. And no one, only me. I remember this recently when, you know, I wanted to go on a trip. I went, if you follow me, you see I went on a cruise. Do you know how much it took for me, the courage it took for me to actually give myself permission to do that, to actually rest and have fun and go on it was an expensive trip. For me to spend that money on me, I had to get out of my comfort zone. And the more
and realize you deserve it and you needed it.
Well, the more you do it, the more momentum it gains. Like, it's like, you know, the snowball becomes the snowman. If you've ever made a snowball, you start with a wee snowball and you're trying to make it move, and then suddenly it gains weight, and then suddenly you've got this whole snowman. And it's the same for limiting beliefs as it is for the empowering beliefs. If you take a limiting belief that I don't deserve it and I'm not good enough and all of that, well, if you keep doing that, then it gets bigger. So what are you choosing to believe? I'm choosing to believe that, you know, I am life. I am the expression of life. Not I am not good enough, I don't deserve it, I'm too old, I'm too this. No, I am the expression of life. Like, when you live by these are my pillars of truth that I teach my people. I am the expression of life. You are the expression of life. We are all one. We're all one humanity. And life source has got my back always.
If we can heal, then so can you. If I can do it, so can you. If I can get out of that fear, so can you, because we're all on this together.
Absolutely. It's so exciting.
Do you want to just tell the listeners then where they can find you, and maybe a little bit about your steps?
Well, the easiest thing is deirdremaguire.com, and you can go to my website. I'm on Instagram, Deirdre.Maguire on Instagram. I'm on LinkedIn. I'm
on the radio.
Facebook, I'm on U105 with Frank Mitchell on a Monday. That's good, always good crack. And and I'm also, I'm now in corporate. We're moving into corporate so that we can help a lot of people. I'm bringing out a new product, a beautiful new 21-day peaceful, powerful you. This is a first. You're the first to hear this, Tara.
Woo!
I'm doing a 21-day journey back to you, and it's a 21-day meditative process, peaceful, powerful you. It's coming out soon, and lots and lots of things going on, and lots of free stuff too. I've got a YouTube channel, wisdomofireland.com, and lots of free stuff there. So and if you sign up to our email, you'll get a freebie. I've got lots of free stuff there too. So it sees me blessed in a minute, Tara. So but of course we've got the rest of our lives, my love.
Absolutely, Deirdre. I hope I have the pleasure of meeting you in person someday soon.
Absolutely.
Like I just love your work. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me. Loved it.
And thank you, Tara, for interviewing me here today, and all the very best with your future and everything that you're doing. You're an amazing young woman, and all the very best with everything.
Oh, thank you. Thanks so much.
Not at all, my love.
All right, you take care.
And you too.
Have a lovely day.
Bye.
Bye.